हरे कृष्ण। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिधि नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशकारिणे कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम। So we are continuing with our Bhagavatam discussion, Canto 8, chapter number 7. So today there's a very, very interesting and insightful series of events which are going to come through in this discussion on chapter 7. Giving a brief, quick overview of what we have discussed so far. So, first of all, welcome everyone for joining in and giving me an opportunity to read, relish, and repeat the Srimad Bhagavatam. And it is giving me a really great time in reflecting on the message and the wisdom of Srimad Bhagavatam. So, thanks to all of you, online and offline. Thank you. Yes. So far, what we have discussed, that the demigods were in a compromised situation because of the offense to Durvasa Rishi, and consequently, they lost all their powers, and they approached Brahmaji for help. Brahmaji took them to the Supreme Lord Vishnu, and Lord Vishnu suggested that, look, time is not favoring you. Stay put. Go and make a truce with the demons, and with that. Hmm, uh, make a settlement with them to churn the ocean of milk, and I'll direct you how you can obtain nectar through that churning of the milk ocean. And on those directions, with faith, they approach the demons, make a truce, take the Mandar mountain, the Herculean task, the truly Herculean task to get the Mandar mountain to the milk ocean. But meanwhile, they get crushed by the weight of that mountain. So there are some things which are in Purushartha, which we can do, and some things they are beyond our ability, human ability, and those are beyond our jurisdiction. So they come under the category of Daiva. So then the Lord appears with Garuda and effortlessly he lifts the mountain, glances upon the injured and crushed dead Devatas and Asuras, revives them back to life, picks up the mountain, places him on Garuda, takes all the Devatas and demons on Garuda Airlines, and flies them right to the site of the churning of the milk ocean. So the mountain is put for churning. However, because there was, then simultaneously they also need a churning rope, because churning rod has come, churning rope is needed. So Vasuki was invited to be the churning rope, and he got tempted to be the churning rope because he was promised quick and easy benefits, that you will get nectar without doing anything. So we discussed that how we might get some allurements like that to get quick and easy results, but we should never fall for these things. We should earn our good days. We should not just let our fortune pay for us. We should pay through our hard work. That should be the philosophy, that I should give more than what I get, rather than expecting to get free lunches in life, because there are no free lunches. There's a price to be paid, which Vasuki realized later, and consequently the churning started, but then there was no base for the mountain to rest, and therefore the mountain sunk, and all of the participants became morose, because despite so much effort, it was not clicking. And then the Supreme Lord, who was there round the corner to help them at every step, he took the form of Kurma, the tortoise incarnation, and accepted that Mandara mountain on his back became the base for the churning to happen. And this churning happened to be just like scratching his itch. Sometimes you have an itch on the back and you scratch it, it gives a good sensation. So this huge mountain, which was enough to crush all the devatas and demons, just happened to be enough to scratch the itch of Kurmadev. So this is the glory of the Lord. This is the magnitude of the Lord's glories and his opulences. So now some reflections on the itch. So this such an endeavor of the devatas and demons, where they were getting exhausted, they were getting completely drained out, tired, fatigued. That effort just summed up to be scratching of an itch for Kurmadev. So however big things we do on our scale, we all have made up our scale of what is greatness. We have a relative scale of greatness. Okay, this person got a score of 82 in the exams. I got 87. So I am definitely ahead of this person. But what if someone has gotten 99 or 100, right? So we make up our own scales of what greatness is all about, and then we compare ourselves with that. But our scale of greatness is not even a beginning of the scale of the Supreme Lord. It's completely insignificant. So when we get an itch, it is caused by an infection, right? हमको कोई खुजली वगैरह होता है तो कुछ infection हुआ होता है skin में, then there is an itch. And when you scratch that itch, it feels good, but that increases the infection, isn't it? Therefore, you are advised not to scratch an itch. But when the Supreme Lord Kurmadev has an itch, it relieves our infection. What is the infection we are carrying? We are carrying the infection of Bhavaroga, the skin disease. We are having the skin disease of identifying with this body covered with skin, which is just bag of bones and stool and urine and pus and blood, which is just covered and packaged with some skin, which looks good. But the itch of the Supreme Lord, the scratching of that itch in the Samudra Manthan pastime, what it leads to, it relieves us of that infection of the skin disease, the entire skin disease of considering oneself to be the body and not understanding our spiritual nature. So that infection of material life is removed when we hear the pastime of Kurmadev. And itch also represents now itch in terms of skin infection. We saw another connotation of itch is to have an ambition or passion to do something. मुझे खुजली है कुछ बड़ा करने की, मुझे खुजली है एंटरप्रेन्योर बनने की, मुझे खुजली है बंजी जंपिंग करने की, मुझे कुछ खुजली है यू नो बेस्ट फुटबॉलर बनने की. आपके अपने इचेस प्लीज टाइप ऑन द चैट बॉक्स what are your itches, something which you have an passion or ambition to accomplish, या कुछ ऐसा करना चाहते हो लाइफ में, कुछ बड़ा करना चाहते हो. Okay, Ved Priya shared to design brands. Wow. Shubhangi to learn Sanskrit. Great. These are really interesting. Okay, let's take learning Sanskrit is an itch which it takes 12 to 15 years to learn the basic Sanskrit. So to get some level degree of mastery, which is also basic proficiency, even if you learn Sanskrit for a lifetime, you won't be able to capture the whole thing. So it takes so much. So Gopinath has an itch which he is not able to satisfy, and I am also itching for your association in person, but I think the 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 distances are separating us. So what can be done? So with Priya, thank you to design brands, beautiful to give to give flight to someone's dreams by floating a brand. Wonderful. So we have various talents, and there is, whenever there's a talent, there's a desire to express it, self-expression. If you have got some talent, if you have got some skill, ability, that skill will keep, is will be like an itch poking you again and again. Use me, use me. If someone is good at singing, they always look forward to get a chance to sing Narsing Arti or Guru Puja or Mangal Arti, isn't it? Whenever there is a festival, they will show themselves up. Okay, I am available if you want. I want to sing. So because you have got some talent for singing, so naturally you want it to get a vent for expression. So all of us have got certain talents, and these talents will itch to come out, isn't it? So we all have this desire to do something big, to really make a difference with our talents. Now, when we utilize our talents just for the sake of utilizing, right? We might do something big, but ultimately we won't get that satisfaction. It will just be scratching of an itch. When you scratch an itch, it feels good, but it doesn't do any good. Isn't it? It only feels good. It doesn't help solve your problem. 2 minutes again, it will start itching. So, however much you utilize your talents, if you are doing something just for the sake of relieving your itch, no, it is not going to satisfy. But when you use your talents in service of the Supreme Lord, in doing something big for the mission of the Supreme Lord, you'll find your itch is also satisfied, and you get lasting satisfaction. So,
That is true. Like serving it for the higher purpose. So just kind of share an experience.
Yes.
So I learned this a little hard way. So like being ambition always push you to push past your limits. But then when you go beyond and when you see that, oh, what I thought of, it is really very empty. When the bhav of doing something and within it, when it comes I, that I want to do it for myself, it doesn't satisfy at all. But I noticed it when we do it to offer it to someone, let it be Lord or doing good for the service. So it gives the ultimate satisfaction for me.
Yes. So very true. Very true, Sai. You said very rightly that when you do something for just satisfying yourself, you end up just repeating that scratching again and again. It will again start itching. You want, and therefore people are never satisfied. Even after being millionaires, they want to become billionaires, and it even even Elon Musk is not satisfied with what he has got. Ambani and is not satisfied with what he has got. So that this itch will keep on continuing because there's no higher purpose attached to it. But when a devotee takes up a great challenge to do something big for Krishna, two things happen. You get the credit of accomplishing something great for the Supreme Lord's mission. You get the satisfaction of doing that service, and as a byproduct, your itch of doing something big is satisfied. जो आपका टैलेंट को निखर के बाहर आना था, वो टैलेंट भी आ जाता है, और साथ में आपका एक सेवा भी हो जाता है, एंड यू फील फुलफिल्ड यार कि मेरा लाइफ यूटिलाइज हो गया एक अच्छे पर्पस के लिए. So whatever skill you have, whatever talent you have, you can just hone that talent, improve that talent. Yes, that's important thing, but then what purpose is served by that talent, that is more important. Hmm. So if you Prabhupada engaged Jadurani Mataji, who had a very raw talent of painting, but then Prabhupada encouraged her, fanned her spark, and directed her how to paint. And then she started painting and painting and painting. She made such beautiful paintings. Recently, a year or two back, she gifted a, a book of her paintings to the Prime Minister, Honorable Prime Minister. Yeah. So when you do something, when you express your talent for the purpose of mission of the Lord, it will give you lasting satisfaction. And neha bikramanaashvasti pratyavayona vidyate. The results will never be lost. The results will eternally be etched in the annals of the golden history of devotional service. All other history books will be lost, but the Bhagavat Purana, that history of the devotees, will always be remembered. So whatever you do, however big it will be lost and forgotten in due course of time. The people who have scratched their biggest itches to do something great and grand, they have been forgotten. But someone who has done a little service, like Shabri, just fed some berries, which are also juta, to the Lord, she is remembered. Or that fruit vendor who brought some fruits for Krishna, all the squirrel. So if we do something in the mission of the Lord, we get the satisfaction of contributing to a great purpose, and simultaneously our ambition to do something big is also fulfilled. Just as Prabhupada would tell his American disciples, to Shyam Sundar Prabhu, he told, when this Mumbai Pandal was being done, Prabhupada said, what is the use of you being Americans if you can't do something great for Krishna? Yeah. So here, Kurmadev is teaching us. He has taken up the service of being the base for this churning to happen. He has taken a role in the mission, isn't it? He has taken up the role that someone needs to be the base, the invisible base. Now, while all the demons and devatas, they are visible doing that churning, or even Vasuki is visible, Lord Kurma is invisible. He has taken the role of a foundation or a base. So when he takes up that service in the bigger mission, a byproduct is that his itch is also scratched and satisfied. So similarly, when we take up a role, however small or invisible that role may be, in the bigger mission of the Lord, we play a part, and also our itch to do something big is also satisfied. Makes sense, my dear friends?
Very true.
Would you like to do something big for Krishna? Sign up. Let's all do something big for Krishna. Let's all utilize this life, our talent, to really spread the mission of Krishna, contribute to this yajna of Krishna consciousness. Okay, so moving ahead now, Lord, wow, wonderful Ved Priya. This is the best dream to have, to do something great for Krishna. Let's have this dream, because when we have this dream, then we will overcome the daydream and the night dream of material life. So wonderful.
And bro, one more thing to add. When we when we do it for the higher purpose of serving it to Krishna, we don't even get distracted, because the dream which we dream is so big that there are chances and there are lots of difficulties which come in between. So the material tendency is just because we ignore the hard things. And when things go completely south, we also go completely too south. We also like say कि अच्छा बस इतना ही तक यही तक हमारा सफर था and we quit it. But when we know अच्छा we are doing this for the higher purpose, we are doing it for Krishna.
So you never say,
Constantly we get the motivation.
you never call it a quit, because whether temptations comes, obstacles comes, you stay fixed and focused.
Yes.
Because you are playing the part of a bigger mission. So very wonderful. And now, having set up this entire mechanism, the churning, starts. Hmm. And at every step, we have been seeing there have been obstacles, there have been intrigues in this entire episode, and so these kind of things do continue ahead also. So the 11th verse, says that the demons and the devatas, they started the churning with the solid fixed base of the Vasuki. So this churning began. However, in due course of time, these demons and devatas, they were getting tired because they had limited stock of energy. Hmm. Where would they get the recharge from? Hmm. So when you are engaged in a seva, or any, you like, you all of you know you have experience of competitive exams. Hmm. Somewhere down the line you lose steam. आप शुरुआत करते हो किसी भी प्रोजेक्ट की, किसी भी चैलेंज की, with a lot of energy and enthusiasm and vigor, but halfway down the line, quarter down the line, you lose all of your steam. Hmm. And you are scarce in terms of your energy and enthusiasm. Hmm. So it happens to all of us, and so it happened to the devatas and demons. They began with a lot of enthusiasm and hopes and dreams, but they lost their energy. Now, where do they get the recharge from? So, it is very important to understand here that when Prahlad uh, was being asked by Hiranyakashipu, where are you getting the strength to disobey my instructions? Where are you getting the strength to speak up all of this devotional lecture to me? So Prahlad says very unassumingly, nonchalantly, I am getting the strength from the same place you are getting the strength from. Which means, as a demon, you are getting your demoniac energy from the same source from which I am getting my divine energy. Which means that whoever we are, whatever we do, we can't accomplish anything. We can't move even a blade of grass without the empowerment of the Lord. So here, all three devatas, Vasuki and the demons, everyone was losing energy. And in that state, the Lord, he appeared. He entered the devatas in the form of the energy of goodness. He entered the demons in the form of energy of mode of passion, Rajogun. And he entered Vasuki in the form of the energy of mode of ignorance, Tamogun. So all of these three entities were in three different modes. And to do what they were doing, the energy was being supplied through these modes by the Supreme Lord Vishnu. So, yeah, again, there's a verse in the Gita which says, Shabda ke Paurusham Rishu. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita that Paurusham Rishu, that I am the ability in man. Balam balavatam chaham, I am the strength of the strong. So whatever strength anyone has, whatever energy or power anyone has, is just borrowed strength from Krishna. Whether you see the biggest wrestler of this world, or the most powerful, boxer of this world, all of their strength, whether it is a beast like an elephant, or whether it is a shark in the sea, all of them are getting their strength from the Supreme Lord. And Lord provides this energy in the form of these three modes of material nature: Sattvagun, Rajagun, and Tamagun. So just to give an example, Sattvagun, all of these are like three types of energy. You need to do any work, you need energy, right? So these are three shades and grades of energies. So Satogun is like the solar energy, the renewable energy, the solar energy directly from the source. Mhm. It's the most pure form of energy. There's no pollution involved. You directly take energy from the sun and convert it and use it. Solar energy. The next, Rajogun, is like the energy derived from the fossil fuels. Hmm? Yes, ultimately it is energy from the sun only, but it is processed. It is second hand, and to add to that, it causes pollution. And that process energy of the fossil fuels is being used to give shape to all of our ugra karma. The entire modern advancement of the present civilization is based on exploitation of fossil fuels, whether it is the automobiles or the sky-rise buildings, all the factories. Everything is based on fossil fuels, and in no time, just as passion gets exhausted, you can't continue with passion for a long period of time. Goodness has the quality of sustenance. Goodness has sustainability. Passion doesn't have sustainability. It is a high energy state where you can float for some time, but then you then go and deteriorate into ignorance, which is just delusion and laziness, right? So when you take up any endeavor in the mode of passion, for some time you can do it, but then after that you go into ignorance, you go into complacency. No. So these are the three modes: goodness, passion, and ignorance. So goodness is like the sustainable energy, solar energy. Passion is the energy of the fossil fuel reserves, which is mm, depleting. Mm. And then ignorance is the energy which is locked up in the polluted waste. Mm. So all the polluted waste that we are producing has got a lot of energy, locked up. There's a lot of energy locked up in the plastics, the electronic items, the plastics, and mm, the emission of the greenhouse gases, carbon dioxide, etc. So there is a lot of energy there. Carbon dioxide has carbon. Technically, it could be used for constructive purpose, but then it is now locked up in this polluted form. So ignorance is like that kind of an energy which has gone to its most debased and degraded state, from where it is there is no coming back. Hmm? You have to just give up that. You have to discard that. Right? So there is no solution for plastic. You have to just stop using it. So there is no solution for laziness or mode of ignorance. You have to just give up. So these three are like three different energy types. Now the demons were running on the energy fuel of passion, the devatas the energy fuel of goodness, and Vasuki on the energy fuel of ignorance. In ignorance, you don't realize what is happening. You are in delusion. You are in sleep mode, hibernation mode. So something such vigorous churning was happening, and Vasuki was not even realizing much of it, because he was in the mode of ignorance. The source of all of these three energies is the sun, isn't it? Whether you use the solar energy, where is it coming from? The sun. You use fossil fuels, they are derivatives from the sun, and the remains of the fossil fuel, they are also coming from the sun only, right? So the Supreme Lord is the source of all of these forms of energy. Goodness energy, passion energy, and ignorance energy.
Prabhu, how can Lord is in the Shuddha Sattva?
So he provides us as per our needs. आपका मतलब अभी आपका जिस प्रकार का चार्जिंग केबल या पोर्ट है वैसा केबल प्रोवाइड किया जाता है सी टाइप है सी टाइप चार्जर 2.0 है तो 2.0 USB 2.0 चार्जर right so whatever is your type of port Lord will provide that kind of charging so it is what we are operating on so the question arises that the devatas they are running on goodness many times we feel that if I'm in goodness I won't be able to do anything ambitious in life if I'm in goodness I'll just be peaceful calm composed relaxed not have any big ambitions not being able to do something enterprising in life but that's a wrong conception the devatas here are in goodness they are charged by goodness Lord is personally charging them with goodness. The demons are in passion. They are being charged with passion. But the devatas are pulling with equal vigor and enthusiasm. That's why there is equal churning, right? If only the demons are pulling, then the churning won't happen. So there's an equal and opposite pull from the devatas. So it is a misconception to think that people in goodness, they are very, very unambitious in life. They don't have any, um, you know, vigor and passion. Those who are in goodness, they definitely, do not become unnecessarily agitated and passionate. But they can use passion to their um, advantage. Someone in goodness can utilize passion and ignorance. Someone in passion can utilize ignorance, but he cannot invoke the energy of goodness. Someone in ignorance is just forced and destined to just be in ignorance. They cannot utilize passion, they cannot utilize goodness, they can't invoke those energies. Therefore, a person in goodness, he can invoke the energy of passion. When he wants for a particular task, he will invoke the energy of passion, become passionate, accomplish the task, and switch off the passion energy. Right? किसी के पास someone is in the person in goodness, he will invoke the energy of ignorance for sleeping. सोना है मुझे, invoke ignorance. उसका चाबी अपने उसके पास में. He can invoke ignorance for sleep, and then alarm clock is up. He will switch off that ignorance and rise and go for Mangalarti. So that is what happens when you charge yourself with the energy of goodness. You can utilize passion and ignorance at will rather than being utilized by these energies. Generally, and people in ignorance, they are the most helpless. Why? Because they, if they get sleep, they can't stop it. They will sleep like a bear for 12 hours, 16 hours. And if they don't get sleep, they won't get sleep till they take sleeping pills. Because that is the energy of ignorance. We are completely helpless. A person in passion, and they will work hard, foam at the mouth, and then collapse, sleep. Right? But if they are asked to, why they are doing what they are doing, why they are working so hard, why they are foaming at them out, they don't have answers because they have energy but no direction. People in goodness have both energy and direction, right? So therefore we need to invoke and cultivate the energy of goodness, which is the most pristine and pure form of energy that you can get, right? So the devatas were being charged by goodness, demons with passion, and Vasuki with ignorance. And then the churning continued. And
Vasuki would be in passion.
Vasuki is in ignorance क्योंकि वो मतलब एनेस्थीसिया लेके बैठा है. आप सोचो किसी को इतना जोर से, मतलब आपको ओशन को चर्न करना है, तो आप कितना विगर से वो मंथन हो रहा होगा और उसका बॉडी से, राइट? हम बोलेंगे कि आपको हम क्या करते हैं, आपको हम कपड़े की तरह निचोड़ते हैं। आप भीग गए बारिश में, तो आपका सर एक जगह लगा के, पैर एक जगह लगा के आपको निचोड़ते हैं जेसीबी लगा के। विल यू बी एबल टू टॉलरेट दैट? नो, राइट? यू कैंट इवन थिंक ऑफ दैट। बट वासुकी इज गोइंग थ्रू सच अ थिंग। उसको पूरा निचोड़ा जा रहा है, बट ही इज इनटू एनेस्थीसिया स्टेट। उसको कुछ पता ही नहीं लग रहा है, राइट? So big pythons, they have this kind of a hibernation state. वो एक कुछ बड़ा शिकार खा लेते हैं, उसके बाद में वो हाइबरनेट हो जाते हैं. So because that is the energy of ignorance, you don't realize what is happening. So Vasuki went into that hibernation state of ignorance. Bhavish is asking, not following regulative principles, breaking regulative principles, does it come under the mode of? Yes, these are तथा रजस्तमो भावा काम लोभादयश्चे. So काम or lust and lobe or greed, they are results of the lower modes of passion and ignorance. One leads to another. So yes, true. Okay, now the journey has begun. They were getting exhausted, but then the Lord personally recharged them. And then further, the churning rod Mandara mountain had a base in the form of Kurmadev, but you also need a support from the top, isn't it? नीचे से support है, लेकिन ऊपर से भी एक hub होना चाहिए ना. So Lord appeared in the form of 1,000-handed incarnation. भगवान ने अपने 1000 हाथों का एक अवतार लिया और वो 1000 हाथों से उसका माउंटेन का टॉप, गोल्डन माउंटेन के टॉप को पकड़ लिया, ताकि माउंटेन ऊपर से भी ना हिले. तो एकदम हब में फिक्स कर दिया, तो केवल प्योरली रोटेट होगा. इट विल नॉट गो हियर एंड देयर, इट विल नॉट टिल्ट. So Lord was seeing at every step whatever is the obstacle. Either he was supporting from outside, or he was recharging from inside. And further on, even after being charged, that their energy was falling short. So then the Lord appeared as Ajita, to join these devatas and demons to do the churning. And when he appeared and did this churning, then really the flames of Vasuki started emanating. The poisonous fumes and flames started emanating from his mouth, which caused great mayhem and havoc, because they are trying to pull, or ये उसका flames, poisonous fumes are coming on their faces, burning and charring their faces, right? You can't कोई दूध का ग्लास गर्म ज्यादा हो जाता है, हम उसको टच नहीं कर सकते, right? So but they were having to do this journey. So then the Lord, realizing their predicament, he invoked rains from that milk ocean, so that these rains and cooling breezes will cool all of these devatas and demons. So you see, at every step, Lord is supporting either from the outside, like ऊपर से he held that mountain, या फिर ये रेन्स भेज दिया, या फिर अंदर से वो उनका जो एनर्जी डिस्चार्ज हो रहा है, तो गुडनेस की एनर्जी से देवतास को, पैशन की एनर्जी से डीमंस को, इग्नोरेंस की एनर्जी से वासुकी को रिचार्ज कर रहा है. सो ही इज energizing and supporting from outside and inside. What does that show? Whenever we take it upon ourselves to assist in the mission of the Lord, then definitely there will be obstacles, there will be challenges, reversals, etc. at every step. However, we should be assured that we will be provided strength and support by the Lord, either from the outside or the inside. And many times we may lose hope, we may lose faith, seeing the obstacles coming in our journey. But when the devatas, they encountered all of these obstacles, they kept their hope and faith. Why? Because they remembered भगवान ने क्या बोला था, डिसहार्टन मत होना, impatient मत बनना, restless मत बनना, greedy मत बनना. He said, don't become disheartened, hopeless, restless or greedy. Because he said, you just continue the process. Karmanyeva adhikaras. Just do your duty. I will ensure that the results come your way. And they had faith in Krishna's words. Therefore, they stay put. So in our lives also, when we are engaging in the mission of the Lord, many obstacles will come. And we might feel hopeless. On our own, we feel that, this situation doesn't seem to have any solution. But we should have faith in the words of the Lord that यावन निमिल्यवान नेत्रे न पतेत न स्खलेतिदा. या भगवान उद्धव गीत में उद्धव को कहते हैं कि that this path of bhakti is so perfect that even if you close your eyes and run, you will not fall, you will not slip. There will be no loss. So Krishna will definitely help us, and Krishna gives out his helping hand, but sometimes it is invisible. Sometimes the helping hand of Krishna will come in the form of the sari for Draupadi. Sometimes that Krishna's intervention comes in the form of a Vidura in your life, who gives advice to the Pandavas. लक्षा ग्रह है, यहाँ पे जल जाओगे, निकल जाओ इधर से. Sometimes the devotee may advise us, अरे क्या सिचुएशन में तू फंस रहा है, निकल जा, ये चीज छोड़ दे. So Krishna came in the form of the sari for Draupadi. Krishna came in the form of the advice of Vidura. Krishna came in the form of his teaching, Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. Right? So Krishna will personally or implicitly come to help us. We should have that faith. And then if we just keep churning, Lord will keep on providing. Okay. Vedapriya is asking, what is the charge the Lord has given for the mode of goodness? Charging means he entered in them in the form of the energy of goodness. So he invoked that energy of goodness in them. And in the demons, he invoked the energy of passion, more and more passion. They became passionate. And in goodness, vyavasayatmika buddhi ekeha kurunanda. In goodness, a person becomes more and more determined and more disciplined. So goodness is that mode in which you become determined and disciplined. So आपको कुछ भी accomplish करना है तो determination or discipline is an unavoidable quality to have. So Krishna gave them determination and discipline. पूरा लग रहा है चाहे uncomfortable हो रहा है, कोई नहीं, हम करेंगे determination से, because this is the right thing to do. So this kind of a quality is the charging of goodness. So he gave that determination and discipline from within to them. Whether it feels right or not, I'll do it because it is the right thing to do. So ऐसा भगवान ने उनको सबको चार्ज कर दिया. So now just drawing parallel in our life, that as a sadhaka, while we are endeavoring to churn the ocean of our consciousness through the process of japa, through the process of shravanam, kirtanam, etc., we also face a lot of obstacles. We might also feel fatigued, but with complete faith in the directions and promise of the Lord, the directions of the Lord, that man mana bhav mad bhakto mad dhyaji mam namaskuru, just become my devotee, worship me, surrender unto me. सर्वधर्मान परित्यज्य माम एकम शरणं व्रज अहम त्वाम सर्व पापेभ्यो मोक्षयिष्यामि मा शुच. That don't fear, don't worry, just surrender unto me and I will relieve you from all fear and all sinful reactions. So having faith in the promise of the Lord and following the instructions of the Lord, the directions of the Lord. Faith in the directions of the Lord. That man mana bhav man bhakto. That just become my devotee, worship me, surrender to me. Following these instructions, we carry on, and ultimately the nectar of Krishna Prem is going to be handed down to us despite all obstacles. That faith we should have. So we were expecting to discuss the section where Lord Shiva, he drinks the halal poison. But if like it's already 8:55, so if you all suggest, we can take that up in the next session, and ask for any questions now, or we can continue on the discussion. Please suggest. क्या बोलती है जनता?
We can continue.
ओके, कोई क्वेश्चंस किसी के हैं?
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी.
हरि बोल. Yes, Shubhangi.
Yes, Prabhuji, you said like the people in sattva, they can be in tamas as well as in rajas when it is needed, right? So like can it like when you are sleeping, like while getting up you feel very like not willing to wake up, you are still in the tamogun, and you said that a person in tamogun will he has no hope to like
Helpless. He's helpless. Helpless.
Yes, helpless. So how should we take this?
So just I'll adjust the words. So it is not that a person in goodness, in Satogun, can be in tamas. The person doesn't have to be in tamas. He can use tamas without being in tamas. So being in tamas is a different thing, and using tamas is a different thing. Being in tamas means you are arrested and shackled by tamas. You are controlled by tamas. But using tamas means you control the energy of tamas. You can use the energy of tamas to your advantage rather than being used by the energy of tamas. So I'll give you an example. अगर कोई व्यक्ति है, उसके पैर बंधे हुए हैं, तो वो क्या अपने आप को रिलीज कर सकता है? कैसे?
No.
पैर बंधे हुए हैं, पैर में रस्सी बंधी है, तो हाथों से रस्सी खोल सकता है, रिलीज हो सकता है. अच्छा, मान लो उसके पैर भी बंधे हुए हैं और हाथ भी बंधे हुए हैं, क्या अपने आप को रिलीज कर सकता है?
शायद से.
कैसे? दिमाग लगाओ.
मुंह से
कैसे करेगा?
With his fingers, पहले फिंगर से हाथ छुड़ाएंगे.
नहीं, हाथ फिंगर सब बांधा हुआ है भाई. नहीं ना, खुद से तो नहीं कर सकता, लेकिन मुंह खुला है तो शायद किसी को आवाज दे सकता है. हाँ, बचाओ बचाओ, राइट. लेकिन अगर मैंने मुंह पे भी पट्टी बांध दी, जैसा कि बॉलीवुड में दिखाते हैं, मुंह पे पट्टी बांधी हुई है, हाथ बंधे हुए, पैर बंधे हुए, अभी उसका कोई होप है? नहीं ना, उसको भगवान ही बचा सकते. तो ये तीनों मोड्स का सिचुएशन है. मोड ऑफ गुडनेस इज ऑल्सो अ शैकल. मोड ऑफ गुडनेस में भी व्यक्ति बंधा हुआ है. मोड ऑफ गुडनेस इज नॉट प्योर. प्योर गुडनेस इज शुद्ध सत्व, विच इज द क्वालिटी ऑफ द स्पिरिचुअल वर्ल्ड. लेकिन सत्व गुण है, इट ऑल्सो हैज अ प्रॉपर्टी ऑफ कंडीशनिंग यू. तो सत्व गुण में व्यक्ति बंध जाता है अपनी हैप्पीनेस से, अपने काम से, पीस से, उस सब से. कई बार वो बंध जाता है. तो ऐसा है जैसे पैर बंधे हुए. लेकिन वो हाथ से रिलीज कर सकता है। पैशन में क्या है, हाथ भी बंधे में, पैर भी बंधे में, अभी वो खुद की हेल्प नहीं कर सकता है। ही कैन कॉल फॉर हेल्प। देखो जब व्यक्ति बहुत पैशन में कुछ अकम्प्लिश करके अचीव करके फिर थक जाता है, परेशान हो जाता है, तो फिर when वो मंदिर आता है क्या ढूंढने, पीस, शांति, हेल्प, राइट, कि why do bad things happen to good people, so हेल्प ढूंढने आ सकता है, राइट, बिकॉज ही कैन आस्क, मुंह खुला है। लेकिन इग्नोरेंस में क्या होता है, पैर भी बंधे हैं, हाथ भी बंधे हैं और मुंह भी बंधा हुआ है। So these are the people you see who get into too many addictions, who rather than asking for help, what they did, they went deeper and deeper into tamas, into addictions and bad habits. So these people, they can't release themselves, nor they can get help from others. Yeah, it is only when a devotee comes up to them and releases them on his own. Otherwise, not possible. Makes sense, Shubhangi?
Yes, and I still have a doubt that uh, there's a difference between using and being in the modes. Like, what exactly is the difference?
हाँ, तो अभी वापस अच्छा हुआ आपने याद दिलाया कि मतलब अभी जिसके पैर बंधे हुए हैं, गुडनेस में है, राइट, उसको सोना है तो वो सो सकता है आराम से। If he wants, he can wake up also. But if he wants to sleep, so he can sleep also. So his hands are free. He's free to do, but he can choose to sleep. So वैसे ही जो the person in goodness, when there is a exam for when he has to prepare, he or she has to prepare for an examination, they can invoke passion कि अरे अभी मुझे अच्छे से डेली 10-10 घंटा पढ़ाई करना है, so they can invoke passion, right? You cannot do certain things without the energy of passion, so they can invoke that passion for a duration of time and then say अभी हो गया passion का काम, चलो साइड में, अभी वापस back to composed state. Whereas a person in passion, they are helplessly passionate. they उनका एज कभी खत्म नहीं होता है, वो करते रहते हैं। तो या तो एग्जॉस्ट होके एकदम इग्नोरेंस में चले जाएंगे, बट दे विल नेवर बी एबल टू थिंक दैट अरे इसको करने से मुझे कुछ फायदा हो रहा है क्या। They just keep on achieving things for the sake of achievement, and they realize that they don't realize that why they are running so much. Their pursuit of success becomes for the sake of it, कि आगे बढ़ना है, क्यों पता नहीं, सब आगे बढ़ रहे हैं। So that kind of a thing, they are always running, they always want to compete, but they don't know why. So that this kind of person can't stop and think मैं क्यों ऐसा कर रहा हूँ, they can't reflect, they can't introspect, they will just keep on acting. तो ऐसा है, उनकी गाड़ी में एक्सेलरेटर है पर स्टीयरिंग व्हील नहीं है, राइट। जो व्यक्ति गुडनेस में है उसकी गाड़ी में स्टीयरिंग व्हील भी है, एक्सेलरेटर भी है, ब्रेक भी है। जो पैशन में है उसकी गाड़ी में एक्सेलरेटर है, ब्रेक है, स्टीयरिंग नहीं है। और जो इग्नोरेंस है उसकी गाड़ी में केवल ब्रेक है, और उसकी जरूरत ही नहीं है क्योंकि एक्सेलरेटर है ही नहीं, और स्टीयरिंग व्हील भी नहीं है। So this person who is in ignorance will just be dumb, will just be in delusion. So he cannot use the energy of passion or of accelerator, he cannot use the energy of direction of the steering wheel. So हमारी गाड़ी कैसे होनी चाहिए, स्टीयरिंग व्हील भी जरूरत है, एक्सेलरेटर की भी जरूरत है, और ब्रेक की भी जरूरत है, राइट। मेक सेंस? Shivangi?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, so we can use but not be in passion and ignorance.
Okay. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hariko.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Is there time for another question?
Yes, Vik.
Yeah, so my question is about determination and discipline. It is very easy to be determined and disciplined when you are in a spiritual environment. It's very easy to get up for Mangal Aarti and chant 16 rounds. But when you're like at home, it's hard to do it. So how to maintain the same discipline at home too? If you're in the mode of goodness, you do it everywhere. But why is it hard in different environments? Like why is it different in different environments?
Yeah. Thank you, Vidya. I think you are having the hangover from your stay at GV, in terms of we want to catch up with
Yeah,
that.
kind of.
Yes, so it is definitely for bringing. Thank you for bringing that up. And um, so just as there are two things: nature and nurture. Nature is the quality within you, and nurture is the quality outside of you. So if you have mode of goodness, but if your environment is in the mode of passion, your energy of goodness will be affected. You will be influenced by the energy of passion. Hmm? So if you are in passion, but your environment in goodness, that environment of goodness will influence to uplift you to goodness. So this is the nurture. The nature principle is I have an inbuilt characteristic, a quality within myself. And nurture is I borrow a quality from outside. So the kind of people you are surrounded with, the kind of staying place, living place you are, in, the kind of, the work that you are doing. So the kind of lifestyle that you are having. So these all contribute to the nurture principle. Nurture means जो बाहर से आपके ऊपर जो प्रभाव आ रहे हैं उसको क्या बोलते हैं, what is it? So the nature is something which we work on internally, and nurture is something we work on externally. Both are our responsibilities. So by doing sadhana, by doing, reading, hearing lectures, etc., you are cultivating your inner nature. Hmm? But then it is also your responsibility to work on your external environment as far as possible. Hmm? So that your external environment is in alignment and supporting your inner nature. If you want to cultivate the nature of goodness, you need to work in a way that आपका external environment भी उसको support करे as far as possible. And sometimes it might not be possible at all. So we make the best use of the available opportunities. And ultimately it is our responsibility, and then take a break once in a while to, go to GV again.
Yes, Prabhuji. I'm waiting for that opportunity again.
Yes, recharge करके energy of goodness का recharge करके then you can go back. ताकि next trip पे side आपका back पे चल जाए.
Okay, so we have to change our external environment also.
Change. Now change. There are certain things which we can change, certain things we cannot change. Now however much we want, when you are studying in the, in the school, mm, growing up studying in a school or a college, you can't change the people there. You can't change the students. You can't change the teachers. You have to live with them. Or if you are working, uh, after graduating, you are working in a company which is a karmi organization. You can't change people. You can't change the organization. But what you can do, is know that you need not change the whole world. You can change your world. Hmm? The idea to change the whole school, taki I surround myself with devotees, that is utopian. The idea that I'll change my organization so that I'm surrounded by devotees, that is utopian. But you can create your own world, which means you can create a small microcosm, a small bubble around you. Right? In amongst the 40 students in your classroom, you might pick, cherry pick those 3-4 people who are aligned to the principles of goodness, who are aligned to the principles of spirituality. So make them your shield, your kavach, hmm, which will fend off the energy of passion and ignorance. So आप वो एक्सपेक्ट मत करो कि ये 40 लोग ये क्या कर रहा है, ये क्या कर रही है, that is none of our business. That will further deplete your goodness reserves. What you need to do, identify those 3-4 people at your school, at your workplace, at your home, who are aligned with the energy of goodness or spirituality, and surround yourself with them. Spend your time with them, emotionally connect to them rather than with the rest. So that is something which is manageable and doable, isn't it, Vedpriya?
Yes, Prabhuji, it's true because I have a quality. I don't know if it's bad or good, but I'm very easily influenced by my environment. So, yeah, I'll keep what you said in mind because I've just started college this week. So, I'll keep this in mind.
Jai. Wonderful. So we wish you all the best for your studies at the college, and may you maintain your quality of goodness and spirituality, and influence others also on the same path.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Yes.
Can I add one point on it?
Yes, please.
So I was attending a lecture of Prajwal Gu. So where he was talking about Sattva, Raja and Tamagun. And there was a very beautiful point where he said that there are some times and there are some places there are that type of energy director. So he explained it very beautifully that when you are in like the time from Brahma Muhurta, so that is the Sattva period. So if you wake up, you will feel energetic, you will feel very much blessed, you will feel gratitude. And that is the time when you have the goodness. But let's take the complete opposite. So when you are in the night, all the tamas would be active, and when you are working in the in meantime, it is Rajagun. So that's the reason he gave an example. Ki all the bars and all the places they are mostly active at night time. And when the Sattvagun start at 4 p.m. So sorry, 4 a.m. They all are closed, and all the good things like park, temples, they all start at that. And the Rajagun, the office starts from that
Afternoon time, that 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock.
Yes. So you have to be conscious, and because the pull is like Rajagun is pulling Sattvagun, then Tamagun, when you are in Rajagun, so Tamagun is pulling you. So you have to be conscious and see that where you are heading to. So that can make your.
So yes, so basically this is a good point, that we want to charge ourselves with goodness. You know that you want to run your vehicle of life with the energy of goodness, not with the energy of passion and ignorance. तो आपको बराबर चार्जिंग ढूंढना पड़ेगा. गुडनेस का चार्जिंग कहाँ मिलेगा, राइट? अगर आपका सीएनजी पे गाड़ी चलता है तो आप सीएनजी पंप ढूंढते हो. आपका अगर डीजल पे चलता है तो आप डीजल का पंप पे जाते हो. अगर आपका इलेक्ट्रिक पे चलता है तो देन यू गेट एन इलेक्ट्रिक स्टेशन, राइट? So if you want to be charged, if your vehicle is to be run with goodness, you go to the goodness energy stations. What are the goodness energy stations? Sadhana, the chanting of the holy names, the scriptures, Shastra, the sadhana, Shastra, then satsang, association of devotees. So these are the energy stations which will charge you with goodness. Then waking up early in the morning, This is called shasan or anushasan, discipline. So when you wake up early in the morning, that is the time when, जैसे बोलते हैं ना, CNG व्हीकल्स को चार्ज ये भरने के लिए सुबह सुबह ऑटो वालों की लाइन लगी होती है लंबी, क्योंकि सुबह सुबह उनको फुल प्रेशर मिल जाता है CNG का, क्योंकि रात को आके वो जो स्टेशन, हाँ, CNG स्टेशन रिचार्ज होता है, तो सुबह सुबह उनको हाई प्रेशर CNG मिल जाता है, उनका फुल भर जाता है सिलेंडर. So similarly, the goodness energy is maximum available in the morning time. So if you wake up early, आपकी गाड़ी में, आपकी बॉडी में, आपके माइंड में goodness energy पूरा spread हो जाएगा, right? And if you are awake till later in the night, that is when the ignorance energy is charging you, or actually discharging your goodness energy. So therefore, staying up late in the night, that will impact on your goodness energy. And also the kind of content that you take in. If you are too much fiddling on the smartphone is heavily charged with passion energy. So beware. इसके साथ आप जितना टाइम बिताते हो उतना आप पैशनेट एनर्जी से चार्ज हो रहे हो, और पैशनेट एनर्जी से चार्ज होने का मतलब क्या है, आपकी गाड़ी में एक्सेलरेटर है, ब्रेक है, लेकिन डायरेक्शन नहीं है, स्टीयरिंग नहीं है, तो एक्सीडेंट हो सकता है. So therefore, minimize the use of this charging station of passion, right? So thank you, Sai, for bringing that discussion.
The last point is very deep.
So ये तो सबको परेशान करता है. So Gopi has asked a question. Demons were aware that God was supporting from above. Yes, demons को तो दिख ही रहा था, क्योंकि भगवान विष्णु स्वयं उनको अपने गरुड़ के ऊपर बैठा के लेके आए और कुर्म के रूप में अपीयर हुए, और फिर ऊपर 1000-headed form of Vishnu में अपीयर हुए. So they were aware that Lord is helping us, but when you are selfishly driven, you don't see who is giving. You just see what is being given. मुझे क्या चाहिए. जब आपको प्रसादम के प्लेट में हलवा गिरता है अच्छी तरीके से, तो आप देखते नहीं हो किसने दिया है. जब कम गिरता है तो देखते, अरे क्या हुआ, और दो. Right? So we are not focused on who is giving. We are just focused on what we are getting. Therefore demons का, हाँ ठीक है, ये तो करना ही है इनको, तो इनका ड्यूटी है, ये तो विष्णु अपना काम कर रहा है. So the devatas, they were grateful. Yeah. Okay, thank you all very much for joining us, and Gopinath has been quiet, and I would request if he wants to share something, or Chitramani, if you want to share something, please do so. Gopinath.
Yes, Prabhu. Can you hear me?
Of course, yes.
No, I wanted to say thank you very much for your wonderful class. I have nothing much to share, but yes, I think what the devatas and the demons, what they had to go through in terms of the legendary amount of effort they had to put. I think if I had the realization that that same Amrit is, it's so accessible now because of the Hare Krishna movement, we would be rolling on the floor, as they say. But it's about I've always being in touch and having a soft and grateful heart, because we can access that same nectar without trying to use a mountain, churn an ocean using a mountain. It was my first reflection. And the other reflection I had was when you're talking about the mode of passion, in that it's, I think, a thought experiment where if you look at a person, he has a very beautiful girlfriend and he is on an open air Lamborghini car. The understanding is he's having such an amazing life, whereas I'm stuck here, supposedly doing something. I think that is not necessarily, how do I say, largely accepted in a global setup, because of, and it's in a sense it's a very niche interest, spirituality. But if you go ahead with a thought experiment, you'd realize that that person in that Lamborghini, he's had his second divorce and he's bought that car on debt. He doesn't have practically anything in his bank account to even afford that car, and he takes antidepressants to go to sleep at night. So the mode of passion is such where uh, it's such a lack of depth that you feel. And the second insight, the third insight I had, third thought I had in my mind was when you're talking about Shamrani Mataji, in that how Srila Prabhupada was able to utilize even persons who had such energy but were practically even thrown out of the university system. But you know, in the latter part of our movement, how it's almost that excess of passion that led to such great growth in terms of centers, but we couldn't maintain so many of it because we didn't have the mode of goodness in many places. So just cultivating mode of goodness is what I thought. As I thought, I'm not sure if it's very useful. I'm just sharing my mind.
No, beautiful points, Prabhu. That's why I wanted you to speak up. So actually, yes, because at a certain point of time, just utilizing the arm of passion becomes so lucrative and productive that you feel that yes, you can just keep on doing this and keep getting results, and without worrying about the foundation or the direction. And so unfortunately our institution also had that phase. And like any other spiritual organization where you go after the results more than the principles. So and then you might get quick results for some time, but then eventually you find they are not sustainable. So yes, in our personal lives also, we keep that foundation of goodness, and on that build up the whole skyscraper of our services and other contributions we make. So thank you, Gopinath, for sharing that. Okay, Chitramani, you want to share something before we close?
Hello, I am audible.
Yes, audible.
तो इस सेशन से हम ये कंक्लूड कर सकते हैं कि जो इस सेशन का हम इंटरप्रिटेशन करें, तो सेम इंटरप्रिटेशन हमारे लाइफ की भी है, तीनों गुण से, रजो तमो और सतो गुणों से, और जिसके नीचे फाउंडेशन है और ऊपर से लॉर्ड्स is driving all the forces in the different forms of energy. And same concept we are also seeing in the atoms, that all the three elements and all these surrounded by some kind of particular structure that is already built by the Lord or by the creators. So these three interpretations, life and material, and these churning of milky ocean are the same, that we have to balance all the three things and know the source of the energy, that is the Lord is giving all the stuffs, that kind of different forms.
सही बोला आपने कि जो तीनों जो शक्तियां हैं, चाहे वो सतोगुण की हो, रजोगुण की हो, तमोगुण की हो, वो तीनों भगवान से आ रही हैं और हमें भगवान की सेवा में इन शक्तियों का प्रयोग करना है। तो ये तीनों शक्तियों में, सतोगुण में, रजोगुण में, तमोगुण में कोई दोष नहीं है। हम उसको किस लिए प्रयोग करते हैं वो इम्पोर्टेंट। तो तमोगुण के बिना हम सो नहीं सकते हैं, ऐसा नहीं है तमोगुण खराब है, लेकिन जब हम तमोगुण का प्रयोग करने के बजाय तमोगुण द्वारा प्रयुक्त हो जाते हैं, that is bad.
Yes.
So that when we utilize all of these energies for the service of the energetic, जिन्होंने ये सब शक्तियां हमको दी हैं, तो फिर then our life becomes perfect. That is what this churning of milk ocean is demonstrating and depicting. So thank you all very much for joining us, and very encouraged by all of your presence. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Srimad
Krishna.
Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nithai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Let's meet next week again.